At this moment, Regnar thought to himself that he would let this family get out of the Thompson first grade and let it go by itself. But thinking about it carefully, he was very unwilling. He opened his mouth and said to everyone, "I know what you think in your heart. You all feel that this family is too low and can't do anything. But if you think about it carefully, I can be sickened today and maybe I will get sick tomorrow. The problem now is that this family is not doing it in one place. If this family is twisted into a rope, I believe they are still very effective." Dawson couldn't help asking, "Brother, how should we make this family become a rope? Now that Hariah is pregnant with other men's children, how could Noah still be willing to twist a rope with her? And that old master?" "Madam, she is not a fuel-efficient lamp." Regnar said coldly, "If they can't twist together, then I will weld them together. I want to see if it is more important for them to save face or survive." Auris Hill People's Hospital. After receiving the call, several police officers came to the hospital ward. Hariah was already beaten by the Lady Wilson and Noah. Fortunately, everyone was poisoned by food, and they weren't quite well, so they couldn't use all their strength when fighting. Otherwise, Hariah would be beaten to death. After the police arrived, they separated the people first, and then asked sternly, "What's the matter with you? Don't you know that the hospital is a public place? How dare you fight here?" Old Mrs. Wilson hurriedly said, "Comrade Police, this is our own family affair." The police scolded, "Household matters should be solved at home. Why do you want to do it here?" Noah pointed at Hariah angrily and blurted out, "Comrade Police, this woman is stealing a man outside, and she is pregnant with other men's seeds. What's even more hateful is that she didn't tell me and kept hiding it. If it weren't for the accidental investigation in the hospital today, I might still be in the dark." The police couldn't help frowning, feeling a little more sympathetic to Noah. However, he still said in business matters, "It is difficult for an upright official to cut off housework. You should settle these matters within the house. If you can say it well, just let it go and live it well. If you say it is not good, go to the Civil Affairs Bureau to get a divorce. No one will delay anyone. Why bother to fight in public? Take a step back and talk about the ugliness of the family, right?" Noah nodded repeatedly and said, "Comrade Police is right." After speaking, he looked at Hariah and said unceremoniously, "Hariah, you unfaithful woman, I want to divorce you. You must leave. I will leave early tomorrow morning." The old Mrs. Wilson also said decisively, "Yes, divorce. Only a divorce can save the face of our Wilson family. Let her take that wild species and get out." And Harold and Wendy, who had never spoken much, had very complicated eyes. For them, the facts today are too shocking, and they can't react at all. Their mother cheated and became pregnant, and their father wanted to divorce her again. Could it be that this family just broke up like this? Hariah was also very broken. She paid so much for this family, and she exchanged for such a result. She is unwilling. Why did I have suffered so much and suffered so much sin? Isn't it just for this home? And now my husband is going to divorce me. If not for me, everyone in the Wilson family would still be squatting in the detention center. How could the Wilson family live in Thompson Villa without me? Hariah became more angry as she thought about it. She pointed to Noah and cursed, "Noah, do you want to cross the river to break the bridge? I tell you, I will never agree to a divorce. Do you want to divorce me, right? Okay, I will do it now. Call Mr. Regnar and let him comment." With that said, Hariah took out her mobile phone and dialed Regnar's number. To her surprise, the call was immediately connected. As soon as the phone was connected, Hariah cried and said, "Mr. Regnar, you have to call the shots for me, Mr. Regnar." Regnar asked coldly, "What's the matter?" Hariah said, "Noah is an unscrupulous person who wants to divorce me. He and his mother beat me together. Even the police came." Regnar sternly said, "It's really unreasonable. Give the call to the Lady Wilson." Hariah handed the phone to the old Mrs. Wilson immediately and said with a successful face, "Mr. Regnar wants to talk to you." Old Mrs. Wilson hurriedly answered the phone and said respectfully, "Hello, Mr. Regnar." On the other end of the phone, Regnar asked in a low voice, "What? I heard that you and your son beat Hariah?" Old Mrs. Wilson complained immediately, "Mr. Regnar, you don't know that this woman did not obey the law of women and has ruined our family's reputation, and she is pregnant with someone else's wild species." Regnar blurted out, "I warn you, old stuff. I will bring your family of 5 together and send you back to live out of Thompson. It is for you to unite and help me trouble Charlie." All the demon moths. If your son dares to divorce Hariah, then your family can get out of the Thompson villa right away. If in the future I hear of any unfriendly behavior towards Hariah, then you can also get out. Do you understand? When the old Mrs. Wilson heard this, she became anxious and blurted out, Mr. Regnar, this woman is really hateful. There are other wild species in her stomach. How can we bear it? Regnar asked. You can't bear it, right? Since you can't bear it, then from now on, Thompson has nothing to do with you. Go away! Mrs. Wilson was too frightened and blurted, Mr. Regnar, don't do this. Can we all listen to you? Regnar said coldly. Where is your son? Does he agree? The old Mrs. Wilson had no intention to ask Noah at all.